Welcome, City Builders. I'm Canadian Moose, and in today's episode, we are going to finish detailing the downtown core, including the beginning of the city's first bike lanes, building a brewery, and trying our hand at an old fire hall converted to a restaurant. This is Grand Deerandon, Alberta. Welcome to Inspiration Station, and today we are headed over to Brandon, Manitoba, thanks to Without Passage, who recommended we take a look at the Prairie Firehouse Restaurant, which unfortunately looks like it might be permanently closed according to Google. Let me know if it is. I think this could be a super fun build to add some character to our city. Next, let's keep it in Brandon and check out Lorne Ave for some awesome bike inspiration. These are called sharrows, which are defined as a road marking in the form of two inverted V shapes above a bicycle, indicating which part of the road should be used by cyclists when the roadway is shared with motor vehicles. I like to call them death traps. Red Deer has some better options for safer bike lanes, but the ones seen here in Brandon, Manitoba are far more common, and while we will likely build a road similar to 48 Ave seen here in Red Deer, for now, the vibe set here on Lorne Ave is what we will go for. Let's hop off the CN freight train and head into the game. Welcome to the Timelapse, everybody, and thanks for the awesome reception to this new series. I am hoping to make this a more permanent series, as I know it's been a bit lackluster lately with series being not as long as I would like them to be, but I think I've got a much better setup now where we can have series that last a long time and you can see the city really become fleshed out with the ideas that we have. You get in our bike lane here with the beautiful sharrows that we mentioned in Inspiration Station. How safe is this? Awesome for the cyclist. Now, the only thing that I couldn't do, I just couldn't find the assets for it, was the two little almost like triangle tops on top of them there. So I don't have that to complete the look. I just didn't have any decals for that. Adding a hedge to the front of this building, and I'm still not sure. At the end, we end up going with a vanilla asset called the Mateo's Art Gallery. But, so that's cool. It's got an art gallery, but I also think it would have like a coffee shop, and I do think it would be like a museum of sorts going on there. Gonna add a beautiful tree to the back there, and if you take the apple tree and add it as the oldest version without being dead, it removes the apples, which is cool. So you can get a tree that's like, you know, you don't need apple trees everywhere. It gives it a really nice touch. So plop some tables down there and going to add some citizens to complete the look here in the front. And these citizen packs are just awesome. They add that little bit of life. It would be great to have, you know, much more and have some seating ones, or sitting ones, seating sims, so where we could seat them wherever, you know. Let's get some parking in here beside the currently just an art gallery coffee shop. And then I'm going to drag this road out and adjust it here. If you ever notice that blue line will show you where the car is going. So I had to actually rebuild this parking lot here because it was causing the cars to drive into the slot, turn around to the slot, and then back out. If your lines ever get janky like that, follow the blue line. You want to see just green lines coming from the parking asset itself. Added a wall, adding some parking to the back here, and this little spot turns out so well. But I will say today's episode, I tried to do a bit too much. It worked out great. It's awesome. We got all the builds done. But I did definitely try to do a little bit too much, and I'm thinking going forward, let's try and do one special build, so something like the Firehall Restaurant or the Brewery that you'll see in this episode, and then downtown detailing so that we can have enough detailing going on that we're making progress and things are looking good, because it takes a lot of time at the level of detail that I do. But I got to remember to just go slow. I don't need to showcase you guys like 5 different, oh, look at these 5 awesome builds in this episode. We can take our time and build out this beautiful small town. You know, city building's not a race. At the end of the day, we're all going to have these cities done. It doesn't matter how fast you complete them, right? So we added some foliage there and then some junk piles into the back here. And you can sink them in a bit with Move It to hide that weird base that comes with them. And I figured we might as well have a dumpster over here near this mess as well, too. Now coming over to this restaurant, shout out to the creator of Skive and a bunch of other mods like Find It, TDW. So this food and drinks bar is officially called TDW's in honor of TDW. That graffiti looked great, fit the vibe of the bar there. These small little graffiti decals as well. I love using those on the doorways, hiding a little moose one. That moose decal is so sick. And then we come in and cover it with some more small decals on top of the larger one. Live Dangerous Pet Cats. Had to get that one in there. Then we've got some of these bigger ones to fill up the space a bit better. And I found these ones underneath, like layering the graffiti really brings out a nice touch of realism into it. Try layering your graffiti instead of just spamming down a bunch of the nice big ones. And especially this dirty, grimy, messy graffiti. I wish we had more of this, more of that dirty, grimy stuff, because it looks more realistic for alleyways. You see a lot of like rushed graffiti that ends up looking, you know, it's messy. It's an alleyway, you know, and it's back lots. They're messy places. I've been using those leaf decals as well under bushes and trees, and then we're going to come in with some trash decals here around the pile, the messy pile that we've made there. With the trash sorted, we need some parking signs so that people know, yes, you can park here. Come check it out. We've got awesome surface parking available for you. Let's add some bins into the downtown here at the... I kind of figured that they would make sense at the crosswalks there. It seemed like a nice spot for the bin. When we definitely have forgotten the street trees. It's been definitely one of the ones that we've left until the last. But I think leaving like street trees until later is kind of the good idea, because the trees will block a lot of the detailing that you're trying to do. So I always kind of would recommend doing trees last. I got a recommendation as well too. Why is the Shoppers Drug Mart building not red? That's a great shout. So we come in and make it red. Now I will say this, because it was a little bit darker when I was shooting this. We're in the winter months now. It's snowing sideways. We're in a blizzard out here in Alberta. You know, it's a minus 25, freezing cold out here, right? That the red looked good and was like, okay, this is a nice color. This is looking good. Unfortunately, that little top piece, though, for whatever reason, just would not match. However, in the sun, like the sun without the clouds, when it's not snowing, it's very vibrant, and I think I need to adjust the red a bit there. We got to get some shop names for the stores on our main street here, and why not a tattoo studio to kick it off? That is such a classic building that you'd see, and a Fresh Pots coffee shop. So you got your coffee shop, got your tattoo shop. So coming in here, I think the next one that would fit is going to be, I really like the idea of the Sneaky Ridge shoes. Like if we take a look at this building here, this looks like an apparel. I mean, it could be a restaurant as well too. Definitely could be a restaurant, and you've got the door here to go up top. But I think this would be an apparel shop, I feel like. So let's do it. Yeah, let's do the Sneaky Ridge. Yeah, right about there. That looks really good. Those neon signs are fun when you can push them in. The Fresh Pots one did not work too well, but they're cool when you can sink them in like that. There's something about it that I really like. And then these signs out front is just classic small town. Now, I did notice here, I gotta see if I can figure out something for the fire hydrant, because this would be no parking, but I can't go in and just like remove the parking there. You could with Road Builder, but it's such a small segment. So I gotta figure out, like, I don't know if I should remove this here, and maybe we put the fire hydrant over here, but there is a little bit jank because they would have no way to get it. And then this one's already marked off, so this is the public market square. So this one's already kind of fleshed out here and detailed up well, so that's good. But yeah, let's continue on with our Main Street detailing. Also, I just noticed that this one came in, so this does come in with a shop. So this is Spuds. So our A&W does not work there, unfortunately, and you can't go in and remove the building pieces there. So we'll get rid of that. So this will become something. It's unfortunate that it's the same. I wish that this was not one solid asset and more so multiple. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just, it is kind of silly. It should be like two separate shops. But hey, it is what it is until we have a way. And it does warn you, like, I guess you could come in here, delete that, place your own. but then it loses its commercial functionality. So for now, we're just stuck with it is what it is. So I figured the next one will be a barber shop, and I didn't realize the spelling on this. Bar shop. Is it always been B-R-B-A-R? No, it's B-R-B-E-R, yeah? I think this is just like a meme with the spelling there. But I figured that this could be a barber shop here, and then it has this little spot at the back. So I think this could be something cool as well, where this could be like something different on the side. This will be the barber shop. But yeah, let's get that added. And I figure out at the back at that little shop, it's got to be the Treasure Trove comics, I feel like. That's got to be a... it feels like a kind of... You know what it would actually feels like to me is a video game store of sorts. Like used reseller video games. And so I figured this is kind of the closest, right? We have like the little sign out front like this. And then the... Probably... I don't know that it would also be a neon sign. But potentially... Also, this might have been a good job for the barber shop instead. We don't really have that, like, you know, the classic barber thing. I don't know what it's called, but like this thing to put out front of it. But maybe that sign will work instead. Let's see what I can pull off here. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's going to be a sign that works out too well for the side. And to be honest, I actually really like the look of that. With the neon against the brick, that's looking really, really nice. So it suddenly dawned on me that we don't really have a lot of, like, nightlife stuff. On a main street like this, you would totally see one. So this will be our first bar. I don't know if that's what they intended for with these signs, with, like, the Limesa bar sign. If it's actually meant to be, like, a bar, like, drinking. I mean, it's got, like... The sign's not really that telling as to what it is. But I figured, you know what? It's the closest we have, and there's not really enough space to put something on top. So I figure let's put a neon one in the window here. See if I can push it in a bit so that it kind of, honestly, it kind of already fits pretty well. I want to see if I can do this a little bit better here. And see if we can just make it... Yeah, see, that already looks so much better with the second like that. Yeah, that's great. So there it is, the Limesa bar. We finally have a bar in the city. That's pretty much it. Like, I haven't not seen much nightlife stuff available. And obviously, without the asset editor, you can't do props. This is the closest we got with this one that's like food and drinks. Like, that's awesome at TDW's. But there's not a lot of options. And the red, I tried my best. The red for the Shoppers Drug Mart. It's as close as I could get. How good are these trains, though, hey? Barreling through the city like this? How good is that? Oh, man, these huge... The 100 train car mod is so good. And the way, like, we got so much traffic coming through because it's connected to the highway. So, I love that. That makes the city feel so alive with all this. Like, I love bad traffic. It's realistic. Just looks so good. Now that we've got the shops detailed up, like the fronts of them, we know what shops are where and sort of what company is working out of what building. I think the next step is to get the fronts of the stores detailed up. Like, we've got the trees, we've got the the waste bins there, but I think let's get the front of the shops detailed up for those that would maybe have some seating out front. And so with that fairly detailed up, I also figured let's add some aesthetic to the Grand Deerandon Hotel. Let's get the name in, and I also thought it'd be cool to detail out a family that's pulling up into the back here, because I figured that this would be like the kind of drop-off location there. As much as it's kind of tight, if we like expand the surface down here a bit, give it that pavement look there. Let's see if we can line this up better. 90. There we go. I figured it'd be cool to kind of have that in the back there. So let's get that added. So there it is, the Deerandon Hotel. With that added, things are looking really, really good here for the main street. It's really come to life now. We do got to come in and detail up this building, which honestly, it's fairly detailed. So I think just a surface around it would make it look nice. Yeah, I mean, there's just gonna be like modern apartments here. And then it's got the shops in the bottom as well that are already fairly detailed, which is cool. I love the shops that come with like the awning there. That looks really good. Oh, hey, it's the... yeah, so this is the thing, right? Because we're using vanilla stuff, you know, you're gonna see lots of duplicating names like, hey, there's another Limesa bar expanding just down the block. Hell yeah. But with that added, I think it's time to move on to getting the bar added into our city, and or the brewery, I should say, the brewery, which will really bring this area to life. So I'm thinking the brewery is going to sit around this area over here. I mean, you've already got a bar there as well too. I feel like this is a good little spot over here for the brewery. And then I'm thinking we're going to add over here an old fire hall and convert it to a restaurant from Brandon, Manitoba vibes. I personally just really like the look of this super generic office building on the side here. There's something about it that just kind of, yeah, that fits. That fits really well. And then this is going to be the base. If you watched our Winter in the Rockies series, this will be the base for our brewery here that I think will look really good. Although I kind of think, yeah, I wonder if we can push this in a bit because we can get rid of that hedge. I wonder if we push that in a bit. Yeah, it kind of blends the windows all right at the back. Then this spot here is going to be our outdoor patio. It lines up nicely with the sidewalk. Yeah, that's going to look really good. And then I think we'll just have another generic, you know, surface parking lot over here as well. But let's get this detailed up. Oh man, it just fit. That's awesome. Grand Deerandon Brewing Company officially in business. So let's come up with a tile surface for this building. Let's detail out a spot for patrons to hang out, drink beer. Kind of like a, I guess like a miniature beer gardens, I guess, on the side that you'll see at a lot of these brewing companies. And after that, we're going to try our hands at creating a old fire hall that's converted into a restaurant. I think I had the perfect asset that will also help shape the skyline a bit. It's going to be really unique. I'm excited for it. But let's get the Deerandon Brewing Company operational, I guess. So we're going to start it with a surface here. I like some of the vanilla surfaces, honestly, quite a bit. But every now and then, you got to go in and mix it up. Some of these other surfaces as well add a very nice touch of realism to the build. And they give me the option, this UK one kind of looks like panel flooring, almost like wood. I didn't have a wood decal that would fit it that well, or like that that worked. I don't think I even had like any wood decal, I think is what I'm trying to say. And then we added this nice UK brick wall. These UK brick walls and the props that we got from the UK pack, man, they are so heckin' useful. Using them all over the place. They had a real nice touch. We're going to go in here and adjust the heights of it and get this whole area walled off. With the wall complete, I thought a nice little touch of detail around here would be a hedge, because they kind of fit about the same size as that brick wall, raising it up a bit. I like it. What do you think? I think it looks really good, and I think it fits the vibe, and it gives it a nice, like, I don't know, just it's a nice touch of nature for this little brewery seton hall. But we do need a way out, and I figured this industrial door works well, since the building that this brewery is based around is a, you know, an industrial building that's now been converted to a brewery. We're using that miniature PO thing just to adjust. The angles were a bit off. The door almost looked kind of sideways, so I used that to just adjust that heights there. And then we're going to need some seating and, of course, some Sims to bring this area to life. Let's go ahead and add some foliage in front of the Grand Deerandon Brewing Company windows, I guess, or the main area. And then, of course, some parking in the back. Well, as we're trying to detail this, it appears the welcoming party for the Grand Deerandon Brewing Company is going phenomenally. Hell yeah, what an awesome party there. Yeah, have a great time. Hope you all are enjoying the grand opening of the Grand Deerandon Brewing Company. I also realized I've been forgetting to do my signature move, courtesy of Red Kool-Aid, which is grab one of these, convert it to the darker yellow, and sink it in by about, I think 0.8 usually looks the best. Maybe 0.7? Yeah, it's 0.7. And put these as parking bumpers for the parking lots. Completely been forgetting to do this for the series, so enjoy some footage of me spamming these down for a bit here. So here it is, the Grand Deerandon Brewing Company. It is awesome. I'm really excited for this. And I love the color tint that we got for this as well. I think that looks really nice. Beautiful parking lot, beautiful little area here. I think it works. Maybe I still am kind of on the fence of the hedge on top of the brick, but you know what? It looks good enough. I'm pleased with it. I like it. And I think this turned out really well. So let's hop on to our next build here, which is a old fire hall converted to a restaurant.
We live in an age of technology in which
So with this fire hall, I don't have the I didn't want to subscribe to the Eastern European ploppables mod that basically gives you static ploppables that are non-functional and whatnot. I just don't want, it's just for one asset. It felt like a bit of an overkill. So I figure for this, we can create a district here, right? And we'll just call it to be named, because this might become a potential district, who knows? Or we'll find better ways to hide that. That'll be called to be named. And what we're going to do is select this, and we're going to go select operating districts, and we'll choose the to be named. And by selecting that, there's essentially never going to be any calls there, unless a car perfectly crashes on that road. So therefore, they won't be doing anything. And we can remove some of this stuff here, like the fire hall stuff on it. Get rid of, actually, we'll keep the ladders. That looks good. And yeah, let me know what you think about using this Eastern European asset for this. I think this kind of, honestly, it works really well when you look at the one from Brandon, Manitoba. I think that works really, really well for it. And it just adds this really, look at how that looks in the skyline. Just this unique building where it's like, what the heck is this? It doesn't feel like something that is out of place for me. Now, let me know in the comments below. You might think, no, man, that's pretty bad. That's fair. That's what it's for. You know, we build this city together through your ideas that you share in the comments and your feedback on things that are good and things that aren't bad. Personally, I love this. So for now, we're going to go ahead and get this detailed up and see if we can turn this into a sort of like commercial type of restaurant, similar to the one that we saw in Brandon, Manitoba. So let's get started. So I also wanted to take this time to ask you, the viewers, if anybody would like to design a logo for what this Firehouse restaurant will be. Share it in the Discord. We have a channel for Grand Deerandon, Alberta on the server. Share it in there. I'll choose my favorite, and I'll send you a little thank you thing as well too. For the winner. I guess like a winner's fun little thing from my merch shop. So share it in the Grand Deerandon Discord channel. Discord links can be found in the description of this video. And yeah, let me know what you think or what you envision as a logo for this, and I'm gonna bring it into game, and we'll get this designed up so it'll add that extra touch to it. So I figured let's start with the parking lot here, because I figured there'd be, now it's not a lot of parking spaces, and maybe I should add a surface lot around here as well, but this building's a little bit far away from where the main focus of the episodes will be as we start to flesh out the downtown. That I didn't want to, we're not building up too much around it, we're just kind of focused on the main building, but I figured, yeah, there'd be some spots out front and definitely some accessibility parking there. So we're going to go ahead and add that asphalt surface in there to mark off the areas where you can drive, and then we're coming in with, again, the UK walls. They're such good props, and you just sink them in a bit there, and I mean, they just add such a nice touch, especially with this being an old fire hall. You could see that there would definitely be a focus around brick here, and definitely a brick aesthetic going on that I wanted to keep. It kind of matches the fire hall. Even though the fire hall is a very vibrant red, I should really look and see if I could tone down the red to match more Canadian fire hall colors, as that is very vibrant. Love that surface from G87. I believe it's part of the German pack. Such a good surface that really fits that older style that we're going for to sell to this, it's an old fire hall and now it's become a restaurant. Now, I start with this brick surface for the parking here. We will eventually remove it, as it doesn't look that good when I start to do the asphalt road detailing here. Bringing over the parking, you can see that we're using the yellow parking again. I think I need to get better at placing more yellow parking. It's a bit tedious to design, but it's definitely worth it. I figured let's add another surface texture here. I know it's a lot of different textures, but the more textures, honestly, the better. It makes it feel more realistic to me. And with this surface tool compared to decals from Cities 1, man, it's hard to stay away. That surface tool makes it so easy. We got these awesome net lane vanilla curbs, so let's go ahead and curb up the surfaces to help blend them a bit better with their surroundings. Now that that's added, it's time to blend the road and basically do our method that we showcased in the last episode of tricking the eyes to create our own custom curb cutouts. And that's when I realized that surface, it's not the vibe. Let's just put in some regular old asphalt there. We're going to start with this vanilla curb, and we're going to hit a nice little curve there using the curve tool to line it up. Then you come in with the decals to blend the edges, and you can do this to both sides. It creates a really nice visual effect from certain angles, again, tricking the eye into thinking that we've got curb cutouts in the game. Let's add some foliage to the side here. And I figured this big alder tree would be a nice little historic touch inside the wall there, as if it was part of what would have been maybe like the parking lot or where fire trucks would have been. Then I figured let's add some foliage around here. It gives it a nice little pop of, color when we're not in winter and autumn. But it'll give it a nice color once springtime hits for Grand Deerandon. Of course, adding some tables, and then I wanted to add a bar, and this was the best I could come up with. Let me know if there's other props that I might be missing. I tend to just stick with the props from the prop tool, so only the props that Colossal Order wants us to see. And the reason being is that Find It crashes my game nonstop. It's one of the highest causes of my crashes. So anything I can do to avoid using Find It, I will, which does mean that there's some hidden props that I'll be missing. But yeah, if you have better suggestions for what I should put in the back here to really sell the look of this bar, let me know, and I'll take the deep dive into Find It and see if I can find those props before it crashes my game. Adding some final touches here to the last build of this episode with some planters, and then of course we're going to go in with some sims. We've got a couple more planters to place, a couple more sims, but this is going to conclude the time lapse. So enjoy the last bit of detailing here, and I'll meet you all in the live play segment. Welcome to the live play portion of the episode, and here we are at the to be named. I mean, we could just call it the Prairie Firehouse, but I'm also curious to see what you come up with. So again, share your design ideas. Let's go with the name, the Prairie Firehouse. Share your ideas in the Discord. We have a Grand Deerandon, Alberta channel for it. And let's see your logos, and they'll choose a winner for the design logo of the Prairie Firehouse. I really think that this turned out great, and I think we did a good job of making it feel like, I don't know, there's just something about this that feels, once we stripped back the stuff, added the parking lot, the fountain, especially the back area here for people with the little bar. Nice autosave. I feel like this has become not as like kind of Eastern European looking, and hopefully no fire trucks will spawn out of it. They did have this upgrade too, but I was like, there's just no way that I'd fit that in, and it's awesome. Like, I mean, if that building was there, I would just be converted to likely a parking lot as well too for people there. But yeah, really stoked with how that turned out. And then over here, we've also got the I guess we got to, you know what we've got to come through as well too and do? I'm looking at this now and realizing that we got to come through and start naming some streets here. So next episode, share your suggestions. I've already got a great one for Francis Pega Megabow. Awesome, a soldier, indigenous soldier in the Canadian military. Tons of awards. Awesome dude. Check him out. I think I'll share a little bit about him as well too, kind of like when we named the streets, like a little bit of information on it. We did an import Moose, Ontario as well too, and I was really pleased with that. I love incorporating people like that into our street names. And let's get some Alberta flavor into this as well. So if you have name suggestions for streets, share them. I think the only name that I'm going to stick with is the highway will be, and this is kind of taken from Calgary, but this will be the Grand Deerandon Trail, or like the Deerandon Trail, which will eventually lead into being the highway. So the highway's coming through. That'll be Deerandon Trail. Like, one will be north, one will be south for the Deerandon Trail, and we'll go through and name those. So yeah, next episode, let's get the names added. Share them. Comment below what name you'd like for the streets, and I'll get those added. At the start of next episode, we'll hang out, name some streets, and then probably just more detailing on the next episode. We definitely got to come in and clean up a lot of the, clean up more of the downtown, add some more details. And I think going forward, this was an awesome episode. It was jam-packed for me doing multiple big detail builds here with the brewery and then the Firehall converted to a restaurant. I think I need to strip it back and continue working smaller. And let's maybe focus on a mixture per episode. I think the good way for this series to progress is we go with one special build. So I think next episode, that'll be the Grand Deerandon, like the Royal Canadian Legion for Grand Deerandon. And then detailing sprinkled in. So we come in, we clean up some of the streets, detail some back lots, but slow. Like, I'm a slow city builder. It's going to be slow progress here, where I really go in depth to make it so that basically every street feels realistic and all the details are added. And it definitely felt like I was rushing a bit this episode with like a lot of builds and trying to jam pack a lot of stuff. So yeah, let's go. I think going forward, we'll go, every episode's going to have detailing. I'm a detailer, but a functional detailer. If the city doesn't function, what's the point? A functional detailer. So we'll go with one special build, or like one sort of the pinnacle build of the episode, covered in street detailing, backlot detailing, and making this city really come to life. Because it's, especially once you start getting these details in, It really just brings the city to life. You come down here, you see the people hanging out at TDWs. You know, you got the crowd hanging out over here at the Grand Deerandon Brewing Company. It just really brings it to life. Stuff like in the back lot, we've got this family pulling up at the Grand Deerandon Hotel. You know, little things like that, right? It really brings it to life. But this will be, it will be, you know, a bigger city. We build small towns here, so I guess a bigger small town here, and then we will, you know, start getting into some rural ones, right? Some farmland, some small towns over here, and I'm thinking that this is going to be the spot for the Lethbridge build, and I've got a really cool idea on how we're going to pull this off. As you can see, it's even got, like, look at this. It's even got the hill too, with the valley leading in. This is like the perfect spot for a Lethbridge build. But all in due time. I'm a slow city builder, so stick around. You're here for the long haul. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you enjoyed the building of the Grand Deerandon Brewing Company. I'm really excited for how this turned out and what it adds to the city. Likewise, really pleased to finally have the name. We've got the Deerandon Hotel added. Cleaned up a lot of these streets and added businesses, which look really nice. The barber shop on the corner here looks awesome. We've got the Treasure Trove comics on the side. Like that little details like that just make the build, in my opinion. So excited for that. And then the shop fronts here, and getting this done as well too, like the Mateo's art gallery. I think this turned out really nice. Like this is awesome, man. This asset's so cool. Love that sort of that little touch that it's added. The detailing in the back here turned out so good. Yeah, this was awesome. All the graffiti, love the look of that. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this build. This is the overview here. This is how we're shaping up, how things are looking in Grand Deerandon, Alberta. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let's head to the outro and those juicy ending cinematics. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today and checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, consider leaving a like or subscribing so you don't miss the next episode in this series. A massive shout out to the people on Patreon and Ko-fi who help make content like this possible. If you would like early access to any of my videos and some perks for our Twitch live streams, consider supporting on Patreon or Ko-fi. I'm Canadian Moose and enjoy these juicy AAA Alberta beef certified cinematics. I'll catch you in the next episode.